It is a familiar face, Joey Beltran, the former BKFC champ, getting back to action in a main event Friday, November 18th on the BKFC app. Joey, this is a big one against an old foe, an old rival in a main event. What's the feeling like for you right now as we're getting closer to this fight?
It's definitely like it's exciting. It's fun. I've as far as camp and everything's gone so perfectly well. I was just really anxious to go out there and enjoy myself.
Yeah, it looks on paper like it should be a really fun fight. I guess important to note right off the bat, it's at cruiserweight, which is 205 pounds. Obviously, you'd been competing at heavyweight. So, I mean, this is a big change, right? I mean, a lifestyle change ahead of this, or just details, or, how big has it been?
No, man. I mean, honestly, it's like just me not eating fast food. Because I'll keep it real. I mean, so it's like if we rewind the clock back to us to the end of 2016. I fought with Bellator my last time. I fought 5, and then I went like 18 months without fighting. And I was like, oh, well, if I'm gonna fight again, I'm gonna fight at heavyweight. Like, fuck losing weight. I'm just gonna be happy and just eat whatever I want, and that's what I've been doing. So it really was just a matter of just cleaning up my diet. And I mean, the weight just flew off me, I mean, literally, I would fight my heavyweight fights, probably 236, right around there, and that was like no joke, like eating McDonald's, eating Hardee's, and just like whatever, having a good time. So I just cleaned up my diet, and it came off me pretty easy.
Awesome to hear, man. So I guess, obviously you were on quite the run. You had a couple setbacks, but again, it was at heavyweight. It was to the current champ. It was to the current number 4 contender. So it's not as like these were slouches by any stretch of the imagination. But I guess, was it those results right there that made you look at it and say, like, I need to make some changes? Or what kind of fueled the decision to make this switch?
Promotion, the powers of the beast, they told me like, well, kind of deadline, Adams is gonna fight Belcher. We're not really too excited about you and Arnold Adams part 3. So even if you were to win one and get back to the title contention, we don't really know. So you're up in limbo. So you can get still contention weight, or you can lose some weight. I chose weight.
Makes sense. Joey, it's freezing kind of. Oh, okay, I think it came back there. Okay, good. Yeah, I'll edit that a little bit. Okay, so I mean, now you're back. It's a familiar foe. It's Houston Alexander. Like you said, you guys fought 12 years ago, which is pretty crazy to think about. I mean, what did they think when this was the name they presented to you? You thought, man, we got some history together.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty cool. It's two old school MMA guys, old school UFC guys going at it. I mean, like, all right, he's 50 years old, I'm 40 years old, so it's just like two grown men. It's like two uncles having a disagreement at Thanksgiving and going out in the parking lot and fighting it out. But I mean, we're some pretty tough old dudes, that's for damn sure. So it's definitely gonna be, it's gonna be a good show for the fans.
I love it. You think you have any mental edge over him all these years later?
I mean, one would think so, but I mean, hey, dude, he's looking good. I mean, yeah, everyone wants to beat that drum. Well, he's 50 years old, yeah, but he's knocked those other two guys out that were way younger than him. He's up 2-0 right now in BKFC, spectacular knockouts. I'm coming off 2 losses. So, I mean, on paper, he might be the favorite. I wouldn't be surprised if the betting odds are on his favor. But I don't really care about that kind of stuff. I'm just focused on, taking him out, and doing it with taking as less damage as possible.
Of course, you got to go into his backyard to do it. Does that make the challenge anymore? I mean, you know you're going to be getting a boo or two on the way out there to the ring.
Absolutely, and more so, more motivation to I have to finish this fight. If it's close or competitive, they're going to give it to him. I just have that mindset. Like, it cannot be close. It has to be an ass whooping.
Yeah, smart mindset to walk in there with. Should say, by the way, Joey, not the only Beltran putting in work in BKFC. I mean, the wife's doing okay. Her rise to the title has been pretty fun to watch. I was going to say, just how, I mean, has that been an inspiration for you? I mean, I know you've been a huge supporter and a huge part of that, but have you also maybe even taken some inspiration from it in seeing what she's accomplished?
Honestly, it's funny because it's like, in practice, like she is my hardest crit, my toughest critic, because she wants me to be safe. She doesn't want me to stand in the middle of firefights and trade punches, and it's crazy. Like, here I am in my 16th year. I've never had anybody in my life like, hey, you probably should maybe want to think about changing a little technique, like not being a rock'em sock'em robot. Like, I remember, like, that was such a compliment back in my UFC days. Like, rock'em sock'em robots, they're going at it. Take one to give one, take one to get one. And it's like, all right, great. But now I have someone who loves me and wants to be with me when I'm in my 60s. It's probably not good, So at the end of the day, like, I always think if I can get a compliment from Britain, it was a good day in the gym. Like, I'm trying to impress her in the gym.
So she's constantly teaching you defense, not offense, huh? She's just wanting you to bob and weave a little bit.
Exactly. Add a little longevity.
I love it. Talk to me about, I mean, obviously you've got a big main event you're focused on right now, but I guess, is the plan for both of you to stay busy? I mean, I know it's got to be a challenge, like going straight from one camp to the other and, each taking turns, but is that the idea, is both of you just, kind of alternate and stay as busy as possible?
It's we always have a mindset. We always say, we're going to take a break. And then we get a phone and then we both like have such a high level of empathy for each other. Like, well, shoot, I mean, this is a good fight. Let's take it. So it's like, it's just, I think for a while, we're just gonna keep riding that wave as long as it's good.
I love it. Well, you got a big main event up next, and we'll see where it takes you from there. I mean, there's potential rankings, involvement, contendership, and all those things that it could be in the future. But first, you got to get it done on Friday, November 18th. Joey, what kind of fight do you see here? As you said, man, you two guys are two tough, proven veterans. We're familiar with you in the MMA game, and now you're doing it in the bare knuckle game. I mean, you got somebody in your corner who's preaching a little bit better defense and maybe a little bit better evasiveness, but what kind of fight do you think we actually see here when you guys toe the line?
Oh, I plan on dominating this fight at any range. If I keep him at long range, at the end of my jab, I'm gonna dominate there. If he gets desperate and jumps in and tries to close the distance, I'm gonna whoop his ass there. I'm gonna dominate this fight at every range.
I love it. Well, on paperwork, it looks like absolute fireworks. We're anxious to see it. Friday, November 18th on the BKFC app. We'll be watching, Joey. Best of luck, and I'm sure we'll talk again real soon.
Thank you. Have a good day.